Good morning everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm back here at Team Toyota of Princeton to take a look at a brand new 2023 Toyota Bz4x XLE. So let's take a look and see what this all-electric vehicle from Toyota in compilation with Subaru can bring to the table in this very competitive EV market, and let's dig in. Looking at the front end of this Bz4X, this color is black. That's it, just plain old black. I like the simplicity of the color. But we do have on this XLE all-wheel drive trim, we do have LED headlights, LED daytime running lamps, LED turn signals, functional side air curtains that's going to channel the air down the side of the car and give it more range and less coefficient of drag. And then down below we have a functional grille in flat black because these lithium-ion batteries need to be cooled as they're being used. So that grille is going to suck that cold air in and cool those batteries under operation of the vehicle. Toyota badge in the middle. It really is a smart looking front end on this EV. Wheel and tire setup on this Bz4X. We have an 18-inch wheel, gloss black, silver accents. Like the looks of it, Toyota badge in the middle, standard brake-in rotors. But these 18-inch wheels, they're wrapped in Bridgestone Turanza EL450 all-season tires, 235 on the width, the 60 series sidewall 18s, all four corners, all-wheel drive. Full side profile on the Bz4X. It is the sister vehicle of the Subaru Solterra. We did the Solterra a while back. It looks pretty much the same as far as design, and that cladding that goes over the front and rear wheels. The black plays off that gray color really, really well. It gives it a more conservative look, which is what I prefer on this type of vehicle rather than a lighter color that shows off that cladding. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, whether you like the more conservative look or whether you like maybe a more aggressive look with a lighter color. The rear end of this Bz4X, we have that low slung hood coming off the back. No wiper on the rear glass of the Bz4X, but I do like that little deck lid spoiler kick up coming off the rear glass. Looks good. Toyota badge in the middle. Bz4X on the left of the tailgate, all-wheel drive down on the bottom right. We have LED taillights, LED brake lights, but we do have standard bulbs for turn signals. I would have liked to see all LED. Then we got the flat black along the bottom, as well as your smooth rear diffuser. So they got you covered there. But one thing I would have liked to have seen is we do have a vent design right here, but it's not functional. And I would have liked to seen them open that up so we could get air coming off through the wheels out the back of the vehicle. And that would definitely help with range and with your coefficient of drag, but they decided just to make it a design, and for me that's a bit disappointing. But overall, I really like the back end of this Bz4X. Coming in for a closer look, we are color matched on the side view mirrors, color matched on the front and the rear door handle. Up top we do have a black shark fin antenna and a glass roof with a sunshade. All right, we come up to the charge door, which is on the front left fender of the vehicle. You hit it, pop it open, and there you have your charging. Now, what I like about what Toyota does here is that instead of just pulling these out and letting them hang down like you see on some other brands, here there's a little switch. You just push it over and they just come right out. And they stay right there, out of the way, and they don't get in the way hanging down. I really like that. We have our standard charging and our DC fast charging hookups. Now, what we're looking at here with this dual motor setup in this Bz4X is 214 horsepower, 249 pound-feet of torque coming from the dual motors, one motor up front, one motor out back, essentially to give you all-wheel drive. So now we're looking at charging times. Now, if you're on a level 2 home charger, a full charge is going to happen in about 11 hours, according to the specs. Now, if you're at a DC fast charger, then you can go from 10% up to 80% in just about an hour. So a little bit longer than I think some people would like, but it isn't forever either. So that's pretty good. Total range here is 228 miles to a full charge. Your MPGE's 114 in the city, 94 on the highway, 104 combined. All right, we're under the hood of this Bz4X, and of course we don't have an engine, but we do have motor action, battery action up here. Just wanted to give you a catbird's view of all of the hoses and everything running through here. We've already given you the horsepower, charging times, and all that good stuff, but I did want to let you know that this has a 96 cell, 71.4 per kilowatt hour lithium ion battery. And it's on a 400 volt architecture. So those are the numbers I want to give you, but we don't have any front mounted trunk up here on the front of the Bz4X. Just a lot of EV action with the motors and the batteries. And it's looking really clean. I like the way it looks. Before we get into this all black Bz4X for 2023, you're going to want to know, Mike, how much does this cost? Well, this is the XLE all-wheel drive. There's only one option on this car, which is the all-weather floor mats for $269. So your total MSRP, which includes freight and delivery charges, $45,684. Let's check out the interior. All right, looking at the footbox, a nice large dead pedal, and I like how these all-season mats go right up the dead pedal to protect it from wear and tear. We have rubberized finish on the brake and accelerator. We have the Bz4X all-season floor mats that are marked that way, which I like. Now, XLE trim, you get manual seats for the driver and the front passenger. And the seating material is Softex fabric combination. I liked how the Softex feels. It looks and feels a lot like leather, which I think is cool. We got the stitching. Then you have the fabric insert to give it a little bit of difference in definition. And the headrest, which is nice and soft. Bolstering, nice and soft. Really are comfortable seats to sit in this Bz4X. Door panel. Sharp looking door panel, I think, in this design. Soft touch up top. We do have some piano gloss black plastic in and around that door handle and the switchgear, even though the switchgear is flat black. We have a semi-soft armrest, but overall I think it's a pretty sharp looking door panel. And now we come up here and we have more of this fabric on top of the dash with your heat and air vent. No glove box in the Bz4X. Infotainment system time, we have a 12.3 inch Toyota multimedia system. Now, I wish I could log in and show you the navigation capabilities, but you have to have a driver profile set up in here. You have to subscribe because this new system gives you over-the-air updates for software updates, for map updates, so you have to be logged into their network. And since this is a brand new car, hasn't been sold yet, I can't do that. But what I can show you is you do have vehicle settings where you can go in and change different things. You got your Wi-Fi hotspot, you can get your display up there, sound and media adjustments and whatnot. We do have wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, which is a nice touch. But you can go ahead and Bluetooth your phone and manage your devices. You have your music right here as well, and you can manage that, but unfortunately the nav is off as this is not a press vehicle. It is a vehicle for sale on the dealer's lot. But I like this system, especially that they've upgraded it. I like the idea of getting over-the-air updates rather than having to go in for service and having them update the software manually. I think that's a good idea, and of course you're going to see the same system in the Subaru Solterra. But I also like the wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto. That's a big improvement. Now we come down here, we have dual climate control action with your controls for it separately, which I like. Here's your volume for your radio. So those are separate controls, which I like. Here is the on-off button for the car, your four-way hazards, a couple of heat and air vents. Down below here, we do have this dial that's going to go through this one-speed transmission. And then we have our electronic parking brake. We have this one pedal drive in action, but a lot of the testing has shown this doesn't really work all that great with one pedal driving. We'll see. Then we have our eco mode. We have our X modes. And if you know Subaru, you know Subaru has X modes. So there's another indication that this is a compilation between Subaru and Toyota, and then your traction control off. As we come down further, we see a lot more piano gloss black plastic, which is going to get beat up. But you can open this up, and when you do, you get a wireless charging pad, USB-A. So they got you covered there for connectivity, and for this, I just wish maybe we had a C in here rather than an A. Close that back up, come down further. We got 2 cup holders. Now we have our Toyota key fob. Now, I'm a little bit disappointed in this key fob. You know, with such a futuristic EV, you would have thought they could have done a special key fob for the Bz4X, but we do have lock, unlock, AC hold, panic button, and that's about it. Toyota badge on the bottom. Very light, very plasticky, I would say. And again, I think Toyota might want to look at making themselves a cooler key fob for this futuristic looking Bz4X. And then we have our center console action, semi-soft, and instead of pulling up, this one comes forward and slides back to reveal your cup holders. So that's a nice deal there. And then we do have a pass-through for this Bz4X, as you can see my hand coming from the other side. So this is where your glove box would be, basically. And that's where we have our owner's manuals and stuff. And underneath there, you have a USB-C and a 12 volt. So they got you covered for connectivity there, down below. So we do have a floating center console, which is nice. Now the Bz4X steering wheel, we have a nice steering wheel, Softex wrapped, Toyota badge in the middle. It is very monochromatic. I would have liked to see a little bit more bling on this wheel besides the Toyota badge in the middle. Telephone and voice commands on the left. Cruise control, safety suite controls, drive mode controls on the right, no paddles, left stalk, headlights, right stalk, windshield wiper, down here, adaptive bright lights on off, manual tilting and telescoping steering wheel, down on this side, brighten and dim the dash, trip odometer. And then as we come up to the dash, as you can see, this is kind of a strange setup. The dash is set way far back from the wheel, almost against the windshield. So they're really trying to mimic a head-up display with this digital dash. And so either, depending on how tall you are, you can either have the steering wheel set all the way up like I have this one, and you'll be able to see it through the steering wheel between the horn button and the top of the wheel. Or if you're too tall like me, it might be a better idea to lower the wheel a little bit, and then you can look over the top of the wheel to see this digital dash. But it is a nice looking dash. We have our different modes we can go through, as you can see on here. And it's pretty much all radio stuff, but that's pretty cool looking stuff. And then your X mode action, which is over here. You can hit the X mode, you got snow, dirt, and you got deep snow and mud, and that's a Subaru feature right there. And of course the hill descent control. But it's a nice, smaller digital dash, but it gets the job done. But they made the design choice to bring it all the way up and almost make it function like a head-up display rather than a traditional dashboard. Let me know what you guys think about that in the comments. Overhead console action. If you want the LED dome lights to come on when you open and close the door, this door button, do not push it in. Leave it out. And then when you open the door, the lighting will come on. When you close the door, the lighting will dim out. Here are the controls for your shade for the glass roof. So if you want to open it, you can hit the button, hold it in just for a second, and it will go all the way back. And then if you want to close it, you just hit the close button, hold it in a second, and it's one-tap operation all the way open. Now you can't open the glass, but it is a glass roof, and it does brighten up the inside of the vehicle, so that's nice. Now we have our sun visor with vanity and LED light, nicely done. And then, instead of this coming back, you do have this extension to block out that side sun for you. That's a good job. All right, getting into the back seat of this Bz4X. The driver's seat is set for my position, so we get in. Easy peasy, 1, 2, 3. Plenty of room for my knees, plenty of headroom at 5'11", plenty of shoulder width room. Nice material all the way down, no plastic along the back of the seat. Nice large seat pocket behind the driver and front passenger seat. And then we have a little bit of a command center here. We have 2 heat and air vents, 2 USB-Cs for rear seat connectivity, and a base model, which I really think is a really nice touch. And that's really because you get the all-wheel drive. You get some extra goodies when you get the XLE all-wheel drive compared to the XLE front-wheel drive. But as we look at the back door panels, nice consistency of design front to back, which I like. Take a look at the front door panel. Take a look at the rear door panel. It's looking really, really good. The seats, the same nice seating material with the Softex and the fabric. Nice headrests, looking good. So I like the vibe they keep going. And now we take a look at that center armrest. Nice center armrest, nice and soft. 2 cup holders and another extra storage area. So they got you covered in the back for that. But I feel really comfortable in the back of this Bz4X. Rear tailgate area. To open it up, this is a manual tailgate in the XLE all-wheel drive. So you come up underneath, right underneath the Toyota badge, there's a button. Push it, and you got to lift up. Little heavier than I expected to lift up. And then you got plenty of room in the back. You have your charge cords that come with the vehicle as an accessory, so you can plug in and charge it at home. And then you have some tie downs here if you have the cargo net action. You have this nice Bz4X all-weather cargo mat. And then we have the carpet underneath that. And then you lift this up, you have more storage down here, which is kind of nice. So I like that action. And then you have your security shade, which is removable in case you don't want to have that in the car. You can remove it and stow it away. And then if you want to take the rear seats down, it's pretty easy. You just lean in and you pop these and throw the seats down. Really simple. And now with those down, you can see you have a lot more space down here for those larger items. And this is removable. I'm not going to do that now, but it is removable in case you want taller items in there and that's getting in the way, or you just don't like the security shade. But I like how easy it is to knock those rear seats down, and you do have LED lighting in the back of the tailgate area, but a really nice space to be here in the back of this Bz4X, and it's really handy with the storage. I'm impressed. Here is the window sticker for this 2023 Toyota Bz4X all-wheel drive XLE in black on black. Feel free to pause the video, stop, see everything that they have inside this Bz4X. And now let's take her out for a spin. All right, we are riding down the road in this 2023 Toyota Bz4X all-wheel drive XLE. And first thing is, it's just a really smooth ride, which I like from an EV. Takes off smoothly, gets up to speed smoothly, so it really does a nice job in that regard. And this is not the type of EV that's going to make everybody want to buy it because it's going to be really fast, 0 to 60. It doesn't have the horsepower that some of the other EVs do, but this XLE all-wheel drive doesn't have the big price tag either. At 45 G's, you're looking at something that a lot of people can afford in an EV. The question becomes, the 228 miles of range is a little low compared to the competition. Now, I know this is Toyota and Subaru's first try at a compilation EV. What I would like to see them work on for the next year, or maybe the next 2 years, is to try to get the all-wheel drive range up to about 250 and the front-wheel drive range or single motor range up to about 275 in this Bz4X. Solterra, you have to take all-wheel drive. You can't take anything else. I like the flexibility Bz4X gives you by saying you can either do single motor front-wheel drive or dual motor all-wheel drive. Now, the all-wheel drive is going to give you more horsepower. Remember, if you do front-wheel drive only, it's 201 horsepower, 196 pound-feet of torque, and your range may go up to around 250 miles. When you do dual motor, you get the 214 horsepower and you get the 249 pound-feet of torque, but your range is down to about 228, depending on the rubber. And of course, your range always depends on where you live, what the temperature is out, what kind of terrain you're driving on, and those sorts of things. So you can't always count on what these range estimates are. It really depends on where you live in the country, and what your climate is like is basically what kind of range you're going to get. But I wanted to demonstrate how easy this is to just come right up on the highway. We've gotten off Route 1, we're getting on Highway 295, and it's just a really easy car to drive. Now we've accelerated all the way up to the highway speed before we get to the end of the ramp. No problem at all. Now we're going to merge on. We have all the safety technology, even in this base model: blind spot monitoring, cross traffic alert, pre-collision alarm, pedestrian safety software in here. You got everything you could possibly want in safety tech in this Bz4X. And now we're just cruising up at wind speed. Now, we do have a little wind noise coming through because we do have a big windshield area with great visibility and a glass roof. So that's going to reduce weight and lower the center of gravity to make this vehicle handle a bit better. And of course, you're going to get more wind noise coming across that glass roof as well. So there is some wind noise in this vehicle. I don't get a lot of tire noise. I do like how the steering is. It's nice. It's light, but it's not vague. It's pretty tight. And I like the way this rides on the highway at 70-75 miles an hour. You have your adaptive cruise control, which is a great little piece of technology, and you just keep running down the highway, no problem at all. And it's just easy to drive. Nobody is going to be doing, you know, your stoplight Grand Prix or a drag strip in this Bz4X. It's not designed for that. This is designed for everyday EV use, for somebody who doesn't want to spend an arm and a leg for an EV. Because remember, the average EV price in the United States is about 66 grand, and this is at 45, so we're 20 grand less than average. And it's designed for everyday use, getting people from point A to point B, around town, hauling stuff, getting people to and from their appointments or school or commuting comfortably, and using electricity. Now, road trips could be a little bit more difficult because you have a reduced range. But if you're in town and you're just ripping around town in a Bz4X, doing your thing, you know, you can drive it around all day, come home, charge it up overnight, and you're ready to go the next day. Now, when I did the Solterra review a while back, I was more critical of that vehicle because of the range. And after thinking about it and driving this one and really looking at what the mission of the vehicle is, I might have been a little bit too harsh on the Solterra as far as that goes. But that Solterra was also, I believe, somewhere between $53,000 and $55,000, which is a lot more money than this Bz4X. Now, you got a lot more stuff. Then you get in this Bz4X because your XLE trim is the bottom level trim. You don't have heated seats. You don't have ventilated seats. You don't have a heated steering wheel, right? Which in the Northeast could be an issue, or ventilated seats down south in the summer could be an issue. But you do have your wireless charging. You do have plenty of USB-C action for hookups. You have this nice big 12.3-inch infotainment system with your over-the-air software and navigation updates. So I like that. So there's a lot of things to like about the base model Bz4X. And for me, price is the biggest one, because this makes this vehicle more attainable for more people who may want to buy an EV, but they just can't afford to spend on the average of 66 grand for an EV. And this one gets to be a little bit more affordable for people to try to dip their toe in the EV water. And I think that's what I like the most about this vehicle, is that right there. But let me know what you guys think about this Bz4X. Are you going to go Bz4X all-wheel drive, Bz4X front-wheel drive? Or you're going to say, I like the Solterra better, even though they're identical cars for the most part. I'm going Solterra instead. Or are you going to say, Mike, this is still too expensive. I need to look at something less expensive. I'm looking at something smaller like a Bolt EUV or a Bolt EV instead, which is going to get me into the 30,000s as far as price. Or are you saying to yourself, you know what, an EV may be a little bit more than I would like to bite off right now. I'd like to tip my toe into the electrified market, but I'm thinking maybe I should do like a Prius hybrid first, or a RAV4 Prime plug-in first, just to, you know, give myself the peace of mind that I do have gasoline engine that I can use as backup in case I run out of range. And I get so anxious because of the range, I'm just not so sure I want an EV. So let me know if those are the kind of issues you're trying to work through, trying out whether you should get into the EV market or not. But as far as this drives, this is a really nice driving car, just so you know. It handles well, it's smooth. The transmission, even though it's just this one-speed transmission, gets the car up and running. The power is smooth and linear, almost like you would feel in a naturally aspirated engine. It just really is smooth. Since you have a lower center of gravity with the batteries down low and a glass roof to reduce weight, you're going to get better handling in this vehicle than maybe some other EVs. So it really is an opportunity for someone to get into a really good EV. The only thing I would like to see is Toyota and Subaru work on improving range. I think if they can get that range improved to what I had said earlier, they're going to attract a lot more EV customers than they currently have for this car. But let me know what you guys think. I really enjoyed reviewing this car today. I really enjoyed bringing it to you today. It's just a really nice, pleasant car to drive. I want to thank Team Toyota of Princeton for allowing the channel access to this Bz4X for review today. I would like to thank all of you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like. Please also consider subscribing and turning on that notification bell so you'll never miss another Shabby's Rides video. And I'll see all of you on the rebound. Take care, everyone.